Hello everyone, this is Troy over at Troy's Cards, Cars, and Comics 2, and today we're going to do a little comic video. If you've watched some of the other comic videos I've done on the channel, you're familiar with the book that's shown right now. That is going to be issue number 1 for the series Excalibur. And if you're a fan of the X books like Uncanny Swag, Uncanny Swag over at Spinetix, you're going to know the characters and you're going to be familiar with this book. This is going to be Rachel, Captain Britain, Megan, Kitty Pryde, and Nightcrawler. This was the first issue of their own series, and like I said, because you demanded it, in their own monthly series. It came out, what was it, about mid-80s, I think. Copyright date on this book is going to be 1988. Then the last comic video I did was for this next book, Web of Spider-Man number 1. Web of Spider-Man number 1 actually replaced Marvel Team Up. So when Marvel Team Up was canceled or stopped, they went with Web of Spider-Man, and Web of Spider-Man was, I think, the 4th, maybe even 5th Spider-Man title at the time. Here's the painted cover by Charles Vess. It's got the black suit, and everybody knows the story of the black suit, or everybody who follows, let's say, Marvel Comics and Spider-Man knows the story of the black suit, the symbiote suit that later becomes Venom. So we talked about that one, and if you actually saw the video, you remember that on the last page of this book, this page is cut out because that's the square for the mail-in subscription. You went ahead and filled it out, and back when I was a kid, I was a teenager and bought that book, and I was like, oh, this is my chance to get a subscription to comics so I can get them right to my house, which is also a mistake because Postal Service does not take care of your books. You're better off trying to get to a comic shop. But we went over this this Spider-Man number 1. And today we're going to go ahead and do another couple of number 1s. This first series is the Micronauts. Now, long before I was collecting comic books, I was playing with the Micronauts toys. You might remember those toys even from the 70s if you're old enough. Time Traveler, this character here, the Croyer. I don't remember if Marionette had her own toy. And then this character on the bottom right, Bug. But this is the Micronauts' first book. The copyright date on this book, I believe, is like 1978. Of course, the character here and in the background is going to be Baron Karza. The Micronauts series was based on a microverse world where the Micronauts series and the microverse was similar, I guess, to that. The home world, and that's what actually the title for this book is, Homeworld. But I don't know if they show it in here. The homeworld for the Micronauts was like basically like a DNA molecule. It was not quite a double helix like a DNA molecule is, but it was a set of connected planets. They don't actually show it in this issue. Look at that Star Wars ad, sweet. From 1978. But the original run, I don't remember exactly how many books it ran, but it was a pretty good series. The Baron Karza, the antagonist, I guess, if you will, in the series, took over and had created what they called the body banks, which allowed, basically, it was ready-to-made parts that you could transplant into somebody, and thus they could live forever. You could clone, and then with the body banks, have parts that were interchangeable with another person with zero rejection possibility. So that's what the body banks are, something similar to that. And the heroes of the comic, Commander Arcturus ran a Croyer, which was actually the prince of his homeworld and was banished. Marionette, which was the princess of the royal family of homeworld, which was actually dethroned by Karza. And Bug, I don't remember exactly his backstory, but they were freedom fighters trying to release the homeworld and the microverse from Baron Karza. So this is number one for that one. And after the full run of that one, they actually re-released the series. So in 1988, and I'm pretty sure that's what it is, they had Micronauts, the New Voyages. And you'll notice a lot of the characters are the same. This, again, is going to be Commander Ran, Marionette, Bug, a Croyer. These two characters are the robots, and I believe the robots were actually featured in the first series. And then this right here, this character came along also later on in the first series, and they brought him back. So this is, again, is issue number one for the second series, and it's got a copyright date of 1988. And I collected this one also. Of course, by the time these comics came out, I had actually lost all the toys that I had as a kid, so I no longer had those. But I guess if you search on the internet, they had a wide variety of toys. The figurines, they had ships, and the ships and all the parts were interchangeable, which was one of the things with the Micronauts toys that made it really popular. All the parts were interchangeable. I can remember as a kid the Croyer being my favorite. You could put the Croyer together in any number of different ways. His feet were actually large boots with wheels, where if you put them, you could roll the character around. They had one of the very first remote control toys, but of course it was a wired remote, so the remote was only as good as maybe 3 feet, because it was a controller that had a wire that went down to a ship, and you could roll the ship around. But it was, still considered remote control, because you didn't control it directly from the toy. But it was, some really good art. This is, I think, the character's Huntar. Yeah, let's go ahead, and I think they described that in the front here. Yes, there it is. Huntar. And that actually shows the background of the different characters. So there we go. Today for this week. First week after Thanksgiving. Comic, another number one. So the Micronauts, New Voyages, copyright 1988, issue number 1. They came from inner space. The Micronauts, first issue, copyright 1978. First issue, Web of Spider-Man. And first issue, is that Alan Davis? The art on that for Excalibur. So if you have any of these books in your collection, I hope you enjoyed them. If not, if you don't have them and you'd like to go ahead and get the stories and read them, I'm sure you can find them at a local comic shop or get them online. If you're really interested in them and would like to know more about the stories, I do have, I would say at the very least, the first dozen issues of all of these series, where in Micronauts and New Voyages, I'm pretty sure I have the complete runs. I have the complete runs of both of these. I've got at least the first dozen, if not the first 20 or 2 dozen, for both of these back from the mid-1980s. So if you'd like to know more about the comics themselves, go ahead and put it in the comics. Let me know in the comments, and let me know, and I'll just go ahead and pull a few of them and run through them and go ahead and get you some stories. But I appreciate everybody watching. Please stay tuned, and come Friday, I'm hoping to do a diecast free at Friday and get back into that to doing that. So thanks again for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Tschüss.